Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a review of the latest MSi laptop, the GT60. Now, some of you may remember that I had cast with Day 9 at the MSi Battlegrounds, and at that time I was still using my GT680R. At the time, some of the representatives from MSi came up to me and said, "How do you love the laptop?" I'm like, you know what, it's great, I go casting with it, I love traveling with it, and it handles everything that I need from a production standpoint. He looked at me with a weird smile and said, "Do you want me to upgrade you?" And as an avid gamer, I obviously said yes. So a couple months later, they sent me the GT60. Now, some of you guys out there may be on the market to shop for a laptop, and you guys may have wanted to know what the difference is between the two laptops, just besides the performance increases. Now, overall, the overall shape and design looks very similar, but if you take a closer look, you will see that there's a lot of things about the GT680R that could be improved upon. Now, the first thing I would note is that this is a completely plastic finish on the laptop itself. Now, even though it's very sturdy, I haven't had any problems with it. It does feel like the screen can warp a little. I don't know if you can actually see that. I'm actually warping the screen a little bit, and it feels a little bit cheap. Another thing that you're going to note is that there's actually a high reflection in the monitor. You can probably see me if the camera is angled exactly right, where you can actually see the fact that there's a high gloss finish on it. Now, in bright light settings, like in bright sunlight, it's not that bad, but in low to normal light settings, it tends to reflect everything behind you, and that can get distracting. Now, a couple of other things that they did as well is that they completely overhauled the keyboard and also changed the touchpad from the 680R to the GT60. Now, moving to the GT60, the first thing that you're going to notice is that, yes, there is a backlit keyboard. And this keyboard is actually designed by Steelseries, so any of you guys out there who have played with mechanical keyboards or play on mechanical keyboards will greatly appreciate the fact that this keyboard doesn't feel mushy. Now, right now, the keyboard is set to a backlight of red, but there's actually 3 different zones that you can have on the keyboard, and you can have it dance and change colors and get that ooh and ah, even though it really doesn't add very much. It's just one of those, hey, it looks really cool, impress your friends. Honey even said, wow, that's pretty. So, you know, if you want to impress a girl with pink, I don't know how far you'll get, but, you know, it can't hurt. Now, if you take a look at the screen itself, it actually has more of a matte finish, so it can't have as many reflections. So those of you guys who are in a very, very concentrated gaming session, you don't have to worry about things dancing on your screen when things are behind you. Another thing is that the back is actually a magnesium finish this time around, so it actually feels a little bit harder, and even though it does tweak a little bit still, it just feels like a much more durable product overall. Moving ahead, some of the things that was not wrong with the laptop, they left absolutely the same. The web camera on the laptop itself is still a 720p 30 frames a second. Also, the audio coming out of this laptop is really, really crisp and clear. And one time we had plugged in the laptop into the TV, and we were watching TV, and it took us like 15-20 minutes to realize, wait, the audio is coming from the laptop, the audio is not actually coming from the TV. We had to reset the laptop, everything was good, but that's how clear the audio was. We couldn't even tell that it was coming from laptop speakers as opposed to, say, the TV speakers. Now, some of the progressive upgrades that they did was they did upgrade to the latest i7 Ivy bridge. It's a 2630M, it's the mobile version. It's lightning fast. All you need to know is that it's going to handle your gaming needs. It's pretty much top of the line right now. Now, the only couple of downsides is, yes, this laptop is extremely heavy. When I say heavy, I'm talking like 8 pounds for the laptop alone. You add in the power brick, which is rather large as well, and you are going to be lugging this around. Now,
how heavy is it?
It's probably about 2 pounds.
Okay.
So it's 2 to 3 pounds. Now,
are they the same size?
No, the GT680R is actually a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Now, that may be a downside, but the battery life on the laptop is perhaps one of the best battery lives I've seen on a desktop replacement like this. I've unplugged the laptop, and as long as you're not doing any hardcore gaming, you can get about 3 hours of battery life on the road. So any sort of web surfing, any sort of taking notes, if you guys are looking for a laptop to go off to college that can play games when you're in the dorm and take notes while you're in the classroom, this is definitely the one. It has a really good balance because of the Ivy bridge. Now, what you're gonna notice is when you unplug the laptop, it's automatically gonna switch from the discrete graphics card, the 670, to the integrated graphics card. You'll see a slight performance drop, but that's how you know you're getting the maximum battery life. Another thing to note is that whenever you are traveling with this laptop, do not put it directly on yourself. It gets really hot as you work. As some of you guys may have remembered, during the MSi Battlegrounds, we were casting outside. We were actually using the laptops as heaters because they were really that warm. One of the things that they actually added from the 680R over to the GT60 is an actual dual vent, so it actually vents out more air along the back and the sides and underneath. I don't know if you can see it, but trust me, it's there.
Okay.
Alright, now if you guys have any more questions about the GT60, feel free to leave comments. I'll post up all the specs so you can compare them side to side. But if you guys have any questions or any doubts about the laptop itself, trust me, I love it and it's been absolutely great. One thing I will say and one thing I will note is that before I made this video, I gave a complaint to some of the guys at MSi, and I said, you know what, it's really annoying that whenever I try to adjust the volume with the function keys, it automatically goes back to the desktop. A day later, they got back to me and says, we released a new version, use the latest version, download these drivers. There's a link if you do have this laptop, and it actually upgrades the OS or the operating, so that when you use the function keys, it does not switch you out of whatever application you're in. I know a couple of times in Diablo or in StarCraft, I had to adjust my volume, and all of a sudden I died because it's swapped over to the desktop. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you guys enjoyed it.